One of the top most 5 system design interview questions that are very frequently asked. A lot of time in a lot of companies you will be asked similar type of questions. For example, one more interesting problem statement can come up is how you can ensure ordering of chats. What are the techniques that you can use in order to ensure right ordering of chats? How you can back up the chats altogether so that the chats are not lost. The most frequently asked question in a system design interview is designing your own messenger, chat app, Slack app, Discord app, these kind of messaging applications altogether. Now, one category of problem which is very hard to solve if you have not earlier, like I would say, read about these problems are top K heavy hitter problems. Now, what are top K heavy hitter problems? In a lot of system design interview, you might be asked to implement something like top K trending tweets, top K trending Facebook posts, or let's say top K trending YouTube videos, right? Top K trending hashtags on a social platform and so on. So always keep this thing in mind and try to learn these questions at the topmost priority because these are one of the most frequently asked questions altogether. System design interviews can be notoriously hard. Yes, this is a known fact and a lot of people actually struggle when they are actually preparing for their system design interview. Because of the fact that system design interviews are so open-ended, people actually struggle to understand what are the most important things that they have to learn if they are appearing for one such interview. But don't go any further. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about one of the top most 5 system design interview questions that are very frequently asked. A lot of time in a lot of companies, you will be asked similar type of questions. And in each of these questions, I'll also talk about what are some of the key aspects that you have to always keep in mind because some variations of these problems can also be asked to you. So without any further ado, let's just start. But before starting the video, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing to the channel because we are going to put some really awesome content up ahead on this channel. So let's just start. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions in your interviews are going to be some kind of a booking system. Now, there are a lot of booking system problems that you will see online, but most of the time these have similar kind of concept going on behind the scenes. For example, people can actually ask you to implement, or I would say design Book My Show, or let's say Ticketmaster, right? People can actually also ask you to design something like IRCTC, which is nothing but a railway booking kind of like application. Now, in all of these booking apps, you will see that the internal data schemas and the data structures and the data storages might be different depending on case-to-case basis. But there are some key important design concepts that are very, very useful in all of these platform designs. For example, capability around asset and transactional systems. A lot of time, if let's say you have to do multi-chart transaction and you have to keep it atomic, how can you do that? Concepts like two-phase commits, and apart from that, concepts like orchestration pattern for your Saga implementation. All of these are very common concepts that are used across these kind of booking systems. Apart from that, you have to always ensure that in these booking systems, the most important factor that you have is consistency, right? How can you improve on consistency? These kind of questions will be technically asked to you, right? Things like if let's say there are multiple people actually trying to access the same resource, how can you resolve that, right? If there are conflicting rights coming up, how can you resolve that? So these are some very important concepts that will be definitely very useful if you try to implement them in these kind of booking systems. If you go with my opinion, if you learn any one booking system as in depth as possible, then other booking systems are going to be 50 to 60% similar to implement. So always keep this thing in mind and try to learn these questions at the topmost priority because these are one of the most frequently asked questions altogether. Now, the second category of problems that come very frequently is some kind of a streaming system. Now, in these streaming system, you might be having an on-demand video streaming system. You might be having, let's say, a live streaming system. Under the hood, most of these streaming systems have a lot of, I would say, common concepts. Some really interesting problems are there. For example, how can we ensure that, let's say, if the user bandwidth is on a lower side, then we do not block the video streaming and instead stream them a lower resolution video. How for a video upload process things are going to happen. How when a video is uploaded, then how you process the video to actually get different resolutions out of it, right? How you can improve and I would say faster the upload mechanism, how you can improve the processing mechanism, right? If what's the difference that will go on if you're doing a live streaming versus a on-demand streaming. These kind of concepts definitely come into the picture whenever you have to implement a streaming system altogether. Now, all of these systems have a few common concepts like pre-processing of the data that you are having. Now, these pre-processing concepts that you are applying in the video, not exactly same, but similar concepts can be applied whenever you have to implement a system where you might have to do pre-processing of some kind of an image, right? Now, how will you store the data of a live stream. Let's say a live stream is going on and you have to record that live stream as well. How will you be able to do that? Similar kind of a recording concepts might also come into the picture if you are doing a video conferencing kind of like application, right? How, let's say you are going to I would say serve lower resolution stream if the internet bandwidth of the user is lower. So these are very common concepts that you will see in a lot of video streaming platforms, and similar concepts will be applicable if you have to build something like a Spotify. That's an audio streaming platform, right? So these are second category of problems that are very frequently asked. You should never miss that. And let's say if you have a product system design interview, this is gonna be the most frequently asked question altogether. Before moving forward, if you are interested in actually building these kind of interesting systems, for example, we just talked about the fact that you can learn about building a booking system, or let's say you can learn about building a streaming application, on-demand streaming, live streaming, and let's say not just this system design, but you want to also implement all of these projects, then don't go further. Our new Lambda 4.0 advanced backend development course has all of these projects implemented. Yes, if you are going to enroll in the Lambda 4.0 course, there are going to be tons and tons of interesting projects that we are going to build from scratch. These projects include making your own on-demand video streaming application plus making your own live streaming application altogether. You will also learn concepts around how you can implement a booking system which has all the interesting concepts covered. Like for example, if two people are actually trying to book the same resource, how things should be resolved, right? How you are going to scale this booking system, how you can implement transactional capabilities into this booking systems and whatnot. And apart from all of these projects, there are some more even interesting projects like building your own code sandbox like project where you can actually run a React app from your browser which is going to be running behind a Docker container. Apart from that, you will be able to also learn how you can implement your own lead code backend and whatnot. The list of all the set of projects that we are going to learn in Lambda 4.0 is going to be coming up here. And not just this, there are going to be tons and tons of more concepts around introduction to low level design, introduction to high level design. There is going to be an introductory module on Golang as well, that how you can make your microservices with Golang. So all of these interesting concepts and advanced backend concepts are going to be covered in Lambda 4.0. So do check out the link in the description section below, and you can use the coupon code backend to get maximum possible discount altogether. And now let's go back to the video. Now, one category of problem which is very hard to solve if you have not earlier, like I would say, read about these problems are top K heavy hitter problems. Now, what are top K heavy hitter problems? In a lot of system design interview, you might be asked to implement something like top K trending tweets, top K trending Facebook posts, or let's say top K trending YouTube videos, right? Top K trending hashtags on a social platform and so on. These kind of top N kind of problems you might be able to solve, and these problems gets merged with other system design questions as well. For example, there is a very famous system design question around implementing a type ahead system just like Google type ahead. But now inside that type ahead, you do not want to recommend anything. You want to only recommend the top K searches in the type ahead. So you can see these top K kind of problems is categorized as top K heavy hitters, where we have to actually figure out how we can identify the top I would say count based problems, or let's say in some way we are going to figure out some kind of a ranking. Similar concepts will be applicable in a leaderboard design as well. Let's say you have a gaming platform, or let's say you have a lead code like platform for which you have to design a leaderboard. Similar kind of a concepts can be applied there also. And all of these category of problems come in one umbrella where you have to actually figure out a mechanism that how you will be able to shard your database such that you are going to eventually merge the data from different shards, figure out the top K in each shard and so on. What kind of interesting data structures are available, and what databases are there that implement those data structures, which can help you to implement these kind of top K problems, right? There are some really interesting data structures like heaps that can come to your I would say usage, but depending on problem to problem, this can actually be pretty different, and you might have to add some more concepts on top of it. For example, if let's say for a search type ahead, you have to implement a top K search type ahead, then you might not be able to directly implement a try, right? Because whenever we think about a type ahead system, then the first thing that comes to your mind is a try data structure. But the problem with try data structure is that not a lot of production ready databases out of the box support try. So maybe you might have to go with some lesser known database, or you might have to write your own try implementations. So in these kind of cases, how you can improve things, right? So the club of these top K heavy hitter problems with other problems makes the system design questions very hard. If you ask me, I have been also asked top K trending tweets kind of problem in my LinkedIn I would say system system design interview, which was even for a SD1 role. So you can see it's very frequently asked, very famous set of questions. And if you are able to learn about 2 to 3 types of these questions, then any other type of a top K heavy hitter problem will be a cakewalk for you. Now, one of the most interesting set of problems actually come into the picture when you have to build a scalable notification system. If you ask with my experience, then I have been also asked different variations of notification system, one of which was asked in my Bloomberg system design interview, right? If you have not yet watched my Bloomberg interview experience video, you can watch that on the channel. But in that interview as well, I was asked a variation of building a notification system. It's just that that notification system was expected to be for set of stocks for which we are going to put some alerts, and those alerts are going to be triggered to send us some notifications, right? So notification systems are part of most of the platforms that you see. You see a social media, you have a notification system. You see a chat app, you have a notification system. You try to build some job schedulers, then also you might have to integrate some notification system once the job scheduling is done, right? In case you want to learn about job schedulers also, I have a video on my channel where I have discussed the complete in-depth system design on job scheduler. But my point being that notification systems can be part of bigger, broader systems, and scaling notifications can be really tough, right? So I would recommend everybody to learn about notification systems, how in real life apps you can build notification systems. And I would definitely recommend that let's say if you have some projects, try to build a notification system corresponding to that project also, then you will get even better clarity altogether. These notification system can be of variety as well. For example, let's say in mobiles you might have to send notification, so you might have to use some push notification strategy provided by the operating system altogether. So a lot of concepts are there that you will be able to learn if you are going to learn about how you can scale up notification systems altogether. Now, hands down, the most frequently asked question in a system design interview is designing your own messenger, chat app, Slack app, Discord app, these kind of messaging applications altogether. Now, on a nutshell, it might look very straightforward if you know about WebSockets, that okay, we'll implement WebSockets and the overall system design will be done. But to be very honest, if you ask me, if somebody asks you a system design of Facebook Messenger, or let's say WhatsApp, or let's say Slack or Discord, then WebSockets are not even 1% or 2% of the entire system design discussions. There are so many more interesting things that you have to keep in mind about a chat app. The most important thing that at least I feel is the estimations, right? That how much storages you will need. Then apart from that, what kind of storage you are going to build for a chat app, because on the upper level chat app looks more like a write heavy system altogether, right? But different type of a chat app might have different use cases. How you are going to shard your data. For example, if you are having a Facebook Messenger, which is more I would say optimized for a one-on-one chat, then the sharding strategy might be different. But let's say if you have something like Slack or Discord or Flock, these are more oriented towards group chat features. So the sharding strategy for a group chat application, which is more heavy on group chats, it's not like group chat doesn't support one-on-one, but something which is more heavy for group chats is going to be slightly different. Apart from that, in these chat applications, whatever strategy you pick, there is one problem that will be always hard to solve. That is, let's say the moment you open the chat app, then what are the last 20 chats, latest chats that you have technically done? You generally see a list of chats, right? And then from those chats, you technically open a chat and start doing all the interesting chatting aspect, right? So how you will be able to fetch that? Because if your sharding strategy is different, fetching the last K number of chats that you have technically done can be notoriously hard. So these interesting problem statements in a chat app comes very often. For example, one more interesting problem statement can come up is how you can ensure ordering of chats. What are the techniques that you can use in order to ensure right ordering of chats? How you can back up the chats altogether so that the chats are not lost. Also, how can you integrate multimedia in a chat app? How those things are going to work. How you are going to support multi-devices. For example, I have a WhatsApp account, but the same WhatsApp account I can log into my phone also and laptop also, and from both of the I would say devices I can chat. How all of these things are going to be done. And then notification aspects in chat app. What if somebody is offline and then you have to deliver offline messages, and when they come up later online, then the messages are going to be delivered. All of these interesting concepts are there that you have to actually use in order to implement a chat app system design. And I would highly recommend you guys, doesn't matter whether you are learning any other system design or not, do consider like exploring everything in detail about a chat app altogether. And that's it for this particular video, guys. Do let me know in the comment section what are some of the other system design questions that you have seen very frequently getting asked. All of the questions that I have talked about, these are my experiences, my observations and my opinions, right? But I believe these are going to teach you a lot of interesting concepts around system design, right? Do check all of these problems out. You will find a lot of resources on the internet. And if you want, you can definitely check out AlgoCamp, where we have actually put really interesting courses around advanced backend development, system design and whatnot. That being said, let's wrap this particular video here, and we're going to meet soon in the next set of videos where we are going to continue our discussion on a lot more concepts around tech and career. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. I'm Sanket Singh, signing off.